welcome to my channel. As you can tell from the title, I will be showing you guys how I learn Korean and how you guys can learn Korean in a fun and easy way. I promise it's super simple and will be fun, so let's get going. If we were to start from the very beginning, I would say my love for languages started about in the 5th or 6th grade, and I was really into Japanese and Indonesian. Funny enough, the only reason I learned Korean is because my friend asked me to, and she was really into K-pop and wanted me to write her name in Korean, and I said that I would, and that spiraled into me just learning the entire language. Here is some of my note evolutions. My very first notes was just one piece of paper because I was just trying to learn the alphabet, and it ended up being so bad that I had to redo them in a notebook. But I didn't just do this for Korean, I did it for Japanese as well. I wrote down a couple of phrases along with hiragana and katakana. Even though that they were bad, I still kept them for the memories. When I first got a notebook is when I started getting serious with my learning. I rewrote hunger and I started writing grammar, which was pretty hard, but I started with the 5 W's, when, what, where, like those, and it just went on from there. I think the trick to Korean is that you have to study it every single day. You can't really take a break or else you'll forget something or lose motivation. I usually studied for 30 minutes to an hour a day, and doing this made me more intrigued with the language, and I didn't really forget what I was learning because I was listening to it as well. I would watch videos and I would pretend talking to myself or find someone else to talk to, and that would help me retain whatever I learned in those couple of lessons. Also, if you couldn't tell, my handwriting got 10 times better. With my second notebook, which I still have now because there's a couple of pages left, I started focusing more on grammar, and I started using Talk to Me in Korean lessons. I didn't start at level 1 because I had previous notes and I understood more, so I started at level 3, and it was amazing because they have really good explanations and even a podcast to help you understand. Unfortunately, as time went on, I started having a problem of being consistent. I would take notes maybe once or twice a month, and I would not even understand those notes to like a certain extent. I really got into like a slump and I just stopped learning at a certain point, but I would still be practicing technically because I had Korean friends and I'd be chatting with them almost every day. But it was still kind of disappointing for me because I couldn't get vocab in my head, and one of the main reasons why this notebook still hasn't been filled out till now is because I just haven't been practicing. But don't worry, that slump is over and I am still learning Korean. How I take notes is super simple. I just follow the exact format on the Talk to Me in Korean website. I just start from the top, start writing what they have, which is usually the conjugation and what the word or grammar structure means, and then they'll have examples, some verbs that are commonly used with this structure, and then at the very end they'll have a couple of sample sentences, which I focus the most on because those are sentences you can use in daily life. But at the beginning I would translate each sample sentence. I would translate everything in the lesson, but these days as I'm getting better at Korean, I just stop translating and see if I could remember the meaning by myself, which has helped me a lot in remembering everything. Watching videos that are interesting as well as educational is a big thing for me, and Ono Nina is super funny, and she does occasional studying videos which aren't really studying, but they get me happy and they get me in the mood of studying Korean, so I really enjoy her content, as not just her Korean content but her other ones as well. The second resource on my list, as well as my personal favorite resource, is Natalia's YouTube channel. She is really dedicated to learning Korean, and I think I've been watching her since the beginning of my Korean learning journey. She has almost everything you can think of, so if you want an in on everything learning Korean, what resources to use, when to do something, what not to do, she will have it. And I'm really grateful for her because I would be totally lost without her. When I started learning Korean, one of the first videos that I watched was one of Korean on these videos. And I want to say that her videos have more of a beginner feel. She talks about the alphabet, and she also talks about words that are more for beginners, like what, why, so what, like, and basic phrases that you would need. And I really like this because the first couple of months, I would just watch all her videos and I would get all my information. The first app I have for you guys today is Memorize. Memorize is more of a vocab-based app. I use it usually to review my vocab and sometimes learn new vocab, but this app is highly recommended by a lot of people, but my most favorite part of it is that you can have native speakers say the words for you, so you know your pronunciation is 100%. And it's not just like one type of person, they have many people saying it, and that's the best. Next app is Drops. Drops is another vocab-based app, but this time it's more interactive where you have to drag the vocab, if you know it, drag it to pictures that go with them. But I don't really like this app that much because it didn't help me personally, but I'm still sharing it here because it might help you. Egg Bun is definitely the most interesting language learning app that I've ever seen. You have a conversation with this egg named Lenny, and they'll teach you vocab and grammar structures based on a certain situation, like for example kimchi making. And even though it doesn't personally work for me, I think you guys should try it for the sake of it because it's just a fun app. And finally, we have the OG Duolingo. I've been using Duolingo personally since I was in elementary school, and although it's kind of an older app and has an older feel, and it teaches you older words and words at random at that, it's still something I think everyone should give a try, specifically for learning Korean, because you'll get used to other apps and grammar structure specifically.